Hi, so let's do a quick analysis of how Nifty is poised. Of course, this is more on a long term basis. और यहाँ पे हम ऐसी कोई डिस्कशन नहीं करेंगे जहाँ पे हम ये देखेंगे कि जस्ट एक वीक या दो वीक या इवन फॉर November expiry. So tomorrow is October's expiry. So we are on 28th 27th of October today. सो गोइंग फॉरवर्ड अभी हम लोग अगर थोड़ा सा अगर ट्रेंड एनालिसिस अगर करने की कोशिश करें कि गोइंग फॉरवर्ड निफ्टी में क्या हो सकता है एंड वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू गेट सम हाइलाइट्स एंड वी आर जस्ट गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड सम प्रीवियस पैटर्न्स और वहाँ से हम निफ्टी के फ्यूचर मूवमेंट को प्रेडिक्ट करने की कोशिश करेंगे. So going forward, of course, you can see that since 2021 you can see निफ्टी में एक starting of 2021 निफ्टी में एक बहुत अच्छी एक रैली रही है and this has been ongoing. So these two lines, the one which you see, so basically the sentiment of the Nifty, we can say it was on this particular day, on this particular candle, at 96 50 9600 levels, that the sentiment changed, and after that you can see that the short-term moving average has always been on this above this long-term moving average, and here you can see there was a sort of indecision where these two averages came very far, very near to each other, and this happened near about the levels of 14,900. So after a good run of 6,000 points, you can see that 5-6,000 points के एक run के बाद there was some indecision in the market, and that lasted for some time. Here you can see this is on 15th of February. It made a high, and from there it's near about the end of May. So February, March, April, May or so. 3-4 महीने में यहाँ पे एक indecision रही थी, and here in this phase you can see that there were a lot of red candles. Here you can see there's 5-6 of them, and then 2 green, and then again few 3 green, but again there's 4 red, and as a result of which you can see that so Nifty was in a big indecisive region, and here also you see that the short term and moving averages, they were flatlined. So going forward, and from there onwards, there was no looking back, and we can say that 14th of May was the day in which Nifty decided कि नहीं हमें ऊपर जानी है, and from there, from 14,925, we can say 15,000 level, we went towards 18,700 600 levels, right? So this was a dream run. So in the past, if you look into this, so there has been a few times, just like over here in the month of November, where the Nifty tried to get some support from the long-term moving average, and this is the second time it did, and there was a good rebound, and hence you can see that this was a good swing trade. This was also and this is so here you can see when Nifty was moving up, the average was moving up, but Nifty was never able to touch this short-term moving average. It was on this particular day, on 23rd and end of December, that this happened, and this gave us again a good run from the levels of 1320 to 14,600 650 levels, right? फिर यहाँ पे जाके इमीडिएटली 4-5 दिनों में एक बहुत बड़ी करेक्शन आई, बड़ी in the sense that there were huge drop downs. You can see if you compare the number of red candles in all of this run from here till here, you can see there was just this 1 and 2 and 3 4 of them, and in just a matter of 5 days you can see there was a drop down of 5 red candles. So but again, the good thing was it got a support over here, and then eventually it again moved up, and it again was trying to consolidate. And as this consolidation phase जो हम अभी discuss किए from February onwards, which lasted till the end of March. So ये जो consolidation phase हुआ है यहाँ पे it went multiple times to get some support from the short term as well as from the long term, and many a times it closed below it, and people were maybe skeptical at that point of time, saying that the trend is down, and then eventually Nifty came out of it, and there are multiple reasons of why this could have happened. Maybe this was also the time when we were unfortunately very much hit by the second wave. Maybe this is again an anomaly which we should take with a pinch of salt, right? बट गोइंग फॉरवर्ड यहाँ पे एक बहुत ही एक शानदार चीज़ होती है कि यहाँ पे अगर आप देखते हो, सो ऑन 28th of here you can see in October. So in the month of October, there was always a test, and this actually happens in the first week of November, where it came and tested the long-term moving average, right? And here in the month of October, there was a good run till the mid of the month, and then there was no movement of Nifty, either on the short side or on the long side, and it just tried to stay within the ranges of 12,000 and 11,600. ये 600 पॉइंट की ही मूवमेंट में पूरी मंथ सिंस मिड ऑफ अक्टूबर इट स्पेंट. एंड देन जब इसकी एक्सपायरी ख़त्म हुई, देन इट वेंट टूवर्ड्स द लेवल्स and it got a support, and then the next up move continued. Now if you actually look into what actually is happening over here, so we also made and that was also this regarding when we are doing this analysis, it was also at all-time high levels, and today also now also we are at all-time high, and this high was made again in the mid of October roundabout. You can see this was on 14th, and the next trading session was 18th. So on 18th we made, and from there you can see there has been a drop down again of 600 points from 600 levels to 1800 levels, right? So there are some similarities. The good thing, so from expiry point of view, tomorrow I really don't know whether it will actually again go for this 18,013. You can see this is this 18,000 we can say is basically the support zone of this expiry, and this is also where multiple times in the past, another multiple times in the past it has actually tried to get some support, and here also you can see it got a support. This time also we can say, but again the thing is, again this October month is actually towards from the mid of the October, and I did this analysis earlier, but unfortunately I didn't get time earlier, so I couldn't post this video. एंड ये जो अक्टूबर के मिड से टूवर्ड्स नवंबर की स्टार्टिंग तक ये जो एक इनडिसाइसिवनेस जो पहले भी एक साल पहले थी, सो दिस इज़ समथिंग नॉट वेरी न्यू, and it happened around about this time where it went, but the good thing which happened at that point of time was the short term and the long term moving averages, they were pretty near, and you can say 11,700 say 11,000, so it was just a matter of 150 200 points. So it was very easy for the market to go for it. So going forward, I think one of the things which we should be prepared, and from there you can see whenever this long term and the short term moving averages जहाँ से भी इतनी deviations जैसी ही आती रहती है, so eventually of course I'm not saying this is not going to go for new high, because of course it did. But eventually this particular width has to diverge not that much, and theoretically there should be a sort of convergence which should happen between these two, and whenever such a move happens, so here from this November, so month of November in 2021 till you can say February of mid of February of 2021, so November 2020 say 2021, so this is 3 months, so in 3 months you can see that there was a huge the gap between these two averages, they increased over a period of 3 months, and here also you can say that from this is end, so we can say this is like August. So in this 3 months again you can see that from August, September, October, so you can see again this gap between these two moving averages have increased, right? So going forward, one of the very one of the things which should actually happen going by the past records is or going by the previous patterns, we can say is going forward Nifty should be consolidating, and even if it tries to hold this particular level, eventually this particular short term moving average should be moving up, and this long term moving average should be tapering. So theoretically there should be a sort of a pattern like this, right? And then what will happen of that pattern, and whether after this when these two moving averages they meet, whether they will start another bull run, or whether they will then start in the downside. So the chances and this is all up for speculation. Of course you can understand that things like this they take so we are on the daily chart, and things like this they take on months, 3 months, 4 months, right? So the video which I'm posting right now, or the discussion which I'm having right now, is not again for the month of November or December, but in general, because this is something which has been in my mind, and this is the reason that whenever I see that there is such a huge difference, and again with the results of Nifty 50 and all the top FNO counters getting out, and with all the pressure which we are seeing in the market, so maybe it's time to consider our trading strategy, and maybe try to come up with a good trading strategy for the next 3-4 months, right? Because previously our strategy was mainly tracking the breakouts, the momentums, and going for the trending stock, and even not profit booking at regular intervals, but rather keeping the trades to run on a longer run. So maybe I have to research about all of those strategies and try to cater to the market conditions which are going to come. Eventually, I'm pretty sure one of these days, I don't know whether it will be at 18,300 or 19,000 or 20,000 levels. Eventually, a day will come when you will have this 3-4 months of no activity, and and this can even start from the month of November itself. The reason being, this divergence of here you can see there was from 14,800 to 14,250. So there is a divergence of near about 550 600 points, and here also you can see अभी 500 point 600 point type से divergence है, because this all long term is at 18,000 and this is at 17,500. So there is a clear cut divergence of or the difference between these two averages is near about 500 points. And the thing is, you can also see it visually that this has not been, earlier it was just diverging 200, 300, 400 points, and then eventually now, as Nifty is making new all-time highs and running with all the gap ups, so theoretically maybe अभी थोड़ा सा caution होने का एक time आ गया है. Again, one of the things I wanted to also showcase over here is the more of an RSI divergence which is happening. So here you can see Nifty has been making and this is also one of the examples which you should also consider why this I never use any indicator. So here, as per your logic, you can see that here Nifty made all-time high of on this particular day, and the RSI was pretty high at 85 levels, and then after eventually after 10 sessions it again made a new all-time high, but the RSI was lower. So अगर आपको पास सिर्फ इतने दिनों की चार्ट है, तो of course you would be having a negative view of the Nifty, but eventually you see that Nifty made a good run from 1800 to 18600 points. So 18,000 to 18600, and this was a 600 point move, and so this was a false alarm. So basically there are a lot of people who actually use divergence. So since I just got to see it happening, so I just wanted to give you a feedback that you can never have a indicator which will give you all the information at the right time. So it's more about understanding the psychology and the sentiment of the market. So गोइंग फॉरवर्ड अभी हमारी स्ट्रैटेजी क्या होनी चाहिए? हमारी स्ट्रैटेजी यही होनी चाहिए कि वी शुड बी ऐसी the drop down, and there should be a closing around about at 18,000 levels, yeah, whatever this the moving average would be at that point of time, and we will then see if there is a follow up sell up. and then eventually the good thing which will happen is eventually we will see if it comes near again. So here also see, you can see, sorry, here also you can see there was a divergence of 400 500 point. अगर आप pixel wise ये width देखो, this is equal to what we have over here. So Nifty made an all-time high over here, and from there you can see drastically from 14,700 to 13,700. So Nifty dropped just 1,000 points in just a matter of 10 sessions, right? So going forward, I think 17,500 should be something which we should be sort of looking out for if Nifty is giving a closing below the levels of 18,000, say for example, and that would be a very interesting zone. But whenever this particular structure happens, do remember it is going to bounce back quite heavily, and eventually this will go for a slow death, right? इसको हम लोग बोलते हैं कि ये जो reversal आई है, and then it took a huge amount of time just to traverse. So here you can see from 14,300 to 15,400. So ये 1,000 point की जो movement आई, this came in a matter of 10 days. But then this consolidation of from here, that's the mid of February till here, this actually took months. So 2-3 महीने तक इसी रेंज में थी, and this is something which should be there because this actually gives a lot of scope for all the short term and medium term traders and investors to exit their positions, and eventually then the next up move or the next move comes in, whether it's in the upside or in the downside. So and another thing which I wanted to understand why I made this video is generally November, you can see this was this drop down came on the mid of October, and then it was just consolidating, and this was a 600 point move, the similar move which we see, and it expired maybe on 30th or 31st of 30th of October, and so you can see so 30th, and so this was 29th of October, maybe there was an expiry just like this year we have on 28th, and then eventually it just tried to get some support, and then eventually it started to move. So going forward, अगर यही हमारा scenario रहा, so it doesn't this moving averages, they don't guarantee anything. So the less retractions that happen, that actually showcases the momentum of the bull. Here you can see after this up move, there was never it touched this short-term moving average unless it came over here, and this is the reason why Nifty shot up from 15,900 to 17,900. So ऐसी कोई मतलब नहीं है कि इसको शॉर्ट टर्म या लॉन्ग टर्म मूविंग एवरेजेस को टच करनी है फॉर सपोर्ट. The less support it takes, the better it shows the power and the momentum in the move, and this actually is a good thing. So I'm not saying that Nifty should come towards 18,000 for the immediate support from the short-term moving average. What I'm saying is that जनरली अक्टूबर के मिड से नवंबर एक्सपायरी तक ये ऐसी एक मूव शायद दिस इज ऑल्सो गोइंग टू गेट रिपीटेड दिस टाइम ऑल्सो. So one of the things is just let this October expiry start, and maybe in a day or two, if you see that the previous high is getting broken, say in our case 18,600, so maybe it's again time for us to consider the next move. From a trading perspective, I can see that previously these moving averages they were always at a distance of 200 300 points. Right now this deviation is you can see from 14,230 to 13,600, so it's more like this is quite high, 250 and 650, right? So it's a 600 point. So Nifty जब भी ऐसी ये moving averages में 600 points की एक deviation दिखा रही है, so basically it actually automatically corrects. So let's see what comes out of it. In general, I would suggest that even if Nifty goes for some profit booking, 18,000 break hota hai and people start panicking, just do remember that as long as it's above this long term moving average which we have, and you can see the beauty of this long term moving average from 12th May onwards, you can say from here onwards, this has never closed below this long-term moving average. एंड शॉर्ट टर्म मूविंग एवरेज में क्लोजिंग सिर्फ एक बार या दो बार आप कह सकते हो आई है. सो बेसिकली द मोमेंटम इज स्टिल इंटैक्ट until and unless the trend changes, and these are actually the trend indicators which are very much important for any trader to plan for the next 2 quarters of how and where they see Nifty going. Thanks a lot for listening. Of this video is going to give you an idea of how you should think about your trading strategy, and think about how to place yourself in the coming days. ऑफ कोर्स आज निफ्टी 18,200 में क्लोज हुई है ऑन 27th of October. गोइंग फॉरवर्ड वी डोंट नो, ये दिस कैन गो फॉर 19,200 or it can go for 17,200. So for us as a trader, we should, or even as an investor, we should know what's up, and we should also know how patterns work, and going forward it can be quite a frustrating move, just like, and this can last over a period of 3-4 months. So you just have to hold on, and just wait for this particular period. Try to see if there are some interesting positions which you want to make for a midterm, for medium term, and maybe this is going to be, at the end of the day, it's going to be beneficial for you. Thanks a lot for listening, and bye bye.